Oh yeah, Spawn Crappie, baby. Ran the bridge. So what is happening, people? Hey guys, we're fishing today. We're actually at Hightowers Lake, and first fish of the day. We came to fish the afternoon bite. One good place to find fish is around the bridge. Post spawn. They come out to this bridge or boat docks, and they suspend. They can rest. They can catch shad, and it's just a fantastic place to catch fish. So hey guys, stay with me, and hope you enjoy the video.
That's a nice one. Yes, sir.
Boom! That's a nice one right there, y'all. Woo, doggy boy. Wildlife Adventures, that's how we roll. Hey guys, so basically I'm fishing today. That is that green shad color in the LC in the hot tail bait, lake country bait. And I'm just pitching out to these fish. Some are around the piling, some are suspended out here in just open water. And if you don't have live scope, you would come on here and you would just fan cast these pilings out here in the middle till you can find some fish. And so we're going to search around here and see if we can find a few fish that are willing to bite. Not all the time that you come fishing around the bridge pilings or whatever, the fish are actually active. It is a full moon, I think, today, so fish should be, more so active. Now he got that as soon as it actually was dropping in the water column. And fish are, it's a very active period, just a small fish. And so we'll cast back over there. And a funny thing about bridges and even boat docks, you can fish 10 boat docks in a row, and one of those, same depth of water, one of those will hold fish and the other ones won't. And fishing around these bridge pilings is the exact same way. No rhyme to the reason why does one just hold so many more fish than another. Some of the reasons, it could have, some brush floating up against it, boom, and some brush floating up against it, and there's just a little more structure on that one. Or for the main reason, it's in the center of where the shade is. I personally think that's what it is. That's just a small fry. Hey guys, when it's time for me to clean my boat, I rely on Better Boat products. They will help you keep your boat cleaner and keep it cleaner longer. Hey, look out for Better Boat products. And one of the things that I like to do, I really like to catch crappie. I really like to let my lure just free fall, if you know what I mean. Just cast it over there and allow it to free fall. Now, we've got a little wind here, so I'm gonna cast it over there. I'm gonna give that lure some slack line. Now I've got a huge bow in my line right now. And you wonder how in the world, see, he got it when it was falling. I didn't see him, he come off. So I'm gonna cast over there. So the fish seem to be about 8 or 10 feet deep. So I'm gonna cast over there And as that lure falls, I'm watching my line. And if I see that line twitch, move, whatever, boom. This down right there again. Let's check that hook, y'all. Many times you miss a couple of fish in a row, check your hook. Sometimes that hook will get will bend, get all jacked up, and so always check your hook. All right, let's do that again. So that's twice we've got bit. So I'm gonna cast over there and we'll give it some line just like this. I'm gonna flip the bail. Now I'm just watching the line. That's all I'm doing. And if I see that line twitch, move, or do anything other than just sink, and you can see as it get, oh, right there it got bit. And you watch that line, you'll see that he come off too. Just twitch like that, you need to set the hook quick. The more bow you got in the line, the more you have to set the hook. All right, let's picture up there one more time. And maybe I can get down here where you can actually see. I doubt you could probably see the line jump. If this was yellow, you might be able to see the line actually, boom, right there. I just saw the fish. I tell you what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna back up here. This is a good crappie right here. And he came off too. So that tells me something is awry with this bait right here. And see that hook has been out like that? That is why those fish are coming off. Don't do that at home. Okay. So I'm gonna sit right here and see if you can see this line. I'm gonna cast up there. I'm kind of off. Let me do that again. And this is what I'm talking about. If you learn to be a line watcher, or your success ratio will increase dramatically. Okay, now I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can see that. So there's a bow in my line right there. And I may or may not get bit. And so that lure is just free falling very naturally through the water. Really slow, boom. I don't know if you could see, but it was the slightest twitch to the line. Just the slightest twitch. And we caught that fish. And I mean, it was very light. Now, see, we caught him. Now, we learned two things. We got to check that hook. Now, I told you to check it while I was under there, but guess what? It was so dark I couldn't see it. It's a good crappie right there, y'all. Boom. Let's do that again while I sit out here. I'm going to turn this camera a little bit. And let's see if you can see this. So you're also going to rely. So, all right, I pitched it out there. It's probably dropped about 4 or 5 feet. And I'm going to take up a little slack, and I'm just letting the lure fall through the fish. That's all I'm doing. And I just got bit. Did you see the line go slack? So the line went slack. That tells me a fish has picked it up because there's no resistance against it. And this feels like a pretty good fish right here, y'all. This might be a bass. No, it's a good crappie, y'all. Look at that. Look at that slab, baby. Woo! Boom. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right. Lake country bait, that hot tail bait right there, and that green shad. Boom. He had to have some of that thing. That's a nice fish right there, y'all. We're not keeping fish today. We'll turn him loose. But back to just talking about fishing deep, and it also happens because you can let lure free fall through the water column. That lure, it looks like that little tail, that little hot tail bait is just wiggling like it's going on down, and that makes that bait look alive. Because you're not pulling it, it's not moving, it's just falling gradually, really slow. Now I'm casting out about 35 feet, so the wind is pushing the bait, so it just looks just as natural coming through the waters as it can. And you see I'm catching some nice crappie. All right, let's do that one more time. I'll sit back here. It seems to be working fairly good. I'm pitching up there, You see this? See, I lifted the rod, give it some line. That line that I just give it allows it to fall a little bit further into the water column. Now boom, did you see the line jump? Ah, man, he come off too. That was a good one. I actually saw the line jump on that. Pitch it up there again. Give it some line. That allows the lure to fall straight down for about 6 feet. Then I'm gonna flip the bail. And I may take up a little bit of line right here so you can see the bow in the line. I don't know if you can see it. Boom. Just got bit again. I think these crappie are actually hitting at the lure. Let's try that again. Fish are reacting. So give it 6 feet of line. Take up the slack. And hopefully you can see the line, the bow in the line. And I'm just holding it. That lure is falling through the water column. And I may take up the slack. See, did you see that? Just barely the line twitched, and I knew to set the hook. You know, you also just a small crappie. You're also feeling for a bite too. Right now the wind is calm, so I can actually feel the bite too. But I can also watch my line. Some people like to watch the end of the rod. That's okay too. But I like to watch the line. It indicates that there is a bite. And I'm gonna watch that line while I talk to you. And just allow that lure to, boom. Just the slightest twitch, I'm gonna set the hook as quick as I possibly can. At least you try to. And that's one method, that's probably one of my most favorite methods when I get around a bridge or a pilot or even a dock to cast under there and just allow the lure to just free fall. A crappie is genetically engineered to eat something that's dying. They can't help it. So sometimes even if crappie are not in a feeding mode, if they see that lure falling through the water column, many times they'll come over there and hit. They'll at least hit at it. All right, so I'm gonna switch my lures. No, you know what? I'm gonna keep fishing with that lure. So let's go up there and catch another fish, y'all. You know, it's really fun. I encourage you to get out. Right now, the water temperature, actually the water temperature has dropped. It's back to 62 degrees. These cold spells, you can see I have this around my neck. It's a little bit cool riding down the lake. And it keeps the pollen out of my nose. We talk about the angle. I've got the bridges before, and you can see fish there. You've marked them on 2D sonar or live scope or whatever. Well, you just know it's fish there. And you cast and cast, maybe catch one or two, and it just eat up the fish. And change the angle or the direction the lure is coming. Most of the time, you're going to cast into the wind and let the lure come from the wind side. That is a rule. It's a rule of thumb. That's what you do. Change your angle, come across wind, downwind, whatever, and boom, you start catching fish. Just keep that in the back of your mind. And it's also easier to fish with the wind in your face on the front of the boat too. If you're going to anchor up or, you know, set your spot lock or whatever. You also want to do that too. Well, so you just, now I felt that fish. I felt that fish bite, but I also watched the line jump. And this is another good crappie, y'all. You can see how fast. Boom. Good crappie right there. So let's talk about your approach to, say, bridge pilings. We just talked about changing your angle. Now, from the angle I'm sitting right here, I can cast all the way to the end of that other column. And so I'm gonna just give it some line here, and I can cover probably 2 of them columns if the wind don't blow my line up into the column. So I'll just sit here, and that's one method. You can get on the end and throw up into the wind, allow it to come by those columns. Or you can get under the bridge and throw between the columns. And I have vertical jigged around them too. So this is we're just talking about one method that you can possibly do. I'm going to ease up here a little closer. So you know how the wind will gust you really, really, really hard up under the bridge because it's being compressed. You know, if you have to, just let your boat drift right out from underneath the boat. Let the wind kind of calm down just a little bit. And you can ease right back up here and catch another fish. Now these fish are getting small. We're probably going to move on. That's just a little fry. Oh, good gracious, look what that boy done pulled out from in there. Hey, stop. I'll turn you loose. Good crappie right there. Green shad, hot tail baits, lake country baits. Right in the top of the jaw. Man. Good crappie right there, y'all. Good crappie. Look, they done tore that lure all to pieces. Hey guys, we're getting ready to end this video. Hope you've seen something in this video that you enjoyed. Hope you've seen something in the video that you learned about these techniques, things to use around boat docks, around bridges, a little bit better techniques about the angles, you know, vertical jigging, as far as casting, counting down, watching your line, all these things to take in consideration. And I know some of you guys out there are adept and know these techniques, but many people out there don't. And so we hope they can learn from this channel about how to be a better fisherman or to catch more fish. That's what it's all about, catching more fish. Get outside, catch more fish. Hey guys, you remember, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Don't forget to hit that like button, click that notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Wildlife Adventures. And as always, it's a wild life, and I'll see you on the water. Good taking.